All right guys, today we are going to get that fuel filter head out, rebuild it, and put in new 1/2-inch hoses there. So what we're going to do first, wait, let's look at, you can see it right there, okay? What we're going to do first is take out this air box to give us a little bit more visibility and a little bit easier wrench access. This bolt right here, normally there's going to be a bolt right here. If your thing's not broke like mine is, then you got your connector and this little guy right here for the intake. And it shouldn't be too hard to wiggle out. It's pretty, you know, just get this off and that connector, the one on the other side, and should come out. All right, now that that's out the way, it's probably gonna be best to remove the upper boost tube to get access to everything easily. There isn't, this is definitely not a truck that's easy to service. Anything at the top of the engine, you will run into this as well. But there it is down there. We're not going to take apart the coolant because I don't want to drain anything. But it does look like we're going to need to move this tube, possibly undo these two connectors. We'll get this tube off. All right, so the front one's real easy. Right, you're just going to zip off this. It is a size 11. Actually, get your impact gun or impact wrench of some kind. Zip that off. Now look at the top one. Hopefully, whoever put this on had both of them facing forward. See how easy I could wiggle that one in there and zip it off? But they put the other one facing backwards. So what does that mean? It means it's probably gonna be fastest for me to go through the doghouse and use an extension and zip it off zip off that corner one right there, because they put that one backwards for some reason. When I reinstall this, I'll definitely be placing it forward so that I don't have to bother with the doghouse next time. Now, as you can see, this is a labor-intensive truck. A lot of stuff's buried behind there. You just gotta know that when you buy one of these. All right, with that out of the way, helps out quite a bit. Access it a little bit better. It is easier. You have to take off the whole bracket. There's a bracket it rests on right here, and there's 2 screws on the back side, but they're kind of blocked, especially this one that's under this piece of metal right here. So we'll have to get the whole bracket out. Looks like we may have to dabble with these connectors a little bit. All right, we're getting pretty close. Looks like just this bracket right here, this black bracket, and then we should have the access we need to get that off. All right, so you'll need to undo these connectors. Take out the Torx bit. That they're bolted to that black bracket right there. And then you need your 12s and your 13s. We're gonna take the filter off too, so the weight's off of it. With everything out the way, this is kind of what you're looking at right here. All right, one mounting bolt way down there, and the 2 up top. And then we still got that 13 over there in the back corner. And I think this should be ready to come off. Let's look down here. You see the 2 hoses that are gonna have to be cut or the clamp come off with it. Be prepared for those. Either have, and then there's obviously gonna be that one connector for the wiring. That somewhere back there's a harness for the wiring as well. We got it loose, as you see here. The other end is just 2 hoses here, so if I can disconnect those 2, this should be completely free. And we got this one wire harness right here that once these hoses are off, this should be easy to access. But this is only held on by 2 bolts. So there's a lot of bolts here, but only 2 of them actually mount it to the truck. So, oh, and you definitely will have to remove the filter to get this off for sure. But yeah, so we're gonna try to save these banjo clip bolts right here, the seals. Get that side off and put new hose on while this goes back together. That's coming out for this particular little service. Looks like they're both 1/2" lines. The weird thing is this plug, I'm sure it's somehow, can't quite see how that comes undone. I tried putting a probe in there and just pushing it, pulling, but I'm not sure what I'm pulling on either, because it's kind of a weird spot to get two hands back there. So what I ended up doing is just disconnecting the other side and left it plugged in. Note, it's 2 1/2" size hoses over to the filter housing on these trucks. All right, and this is what it looks like when it comes out. All right, so I'm gonna add just a little bit that I cut when I make my new ones. I'm definitely gonna leave those on there. So I unplug that, and this is why you have to take off the whole bracket. The other bolt is behind it and under it. What a pain. What a pain in design. Too bad I couldn't have just been on top. All right, so I did find the 2 hoses. They were kind of difficult to find, and they were a little bit expensive. So here's the part numbers right here. And the other one right there. They are 2 new ones. They do come with the braid. So that was an original hose right here. All right, well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our rebuild kit right here, and we're gonna rip this apart and get this back together, sealed up. We are not gonna take off these because I didn't buy the banjos, but I believe the dealer could have gotten them if you need them. But those don't leak on me right now, so I'm not gonna mess with them. Just some squeeze clamps and pull that hose off. All right, keep in mind, so your kit is gonna have 1 seal right here. When you take off the top plunger assembly, right, it's just these 3 pieces and the spring. And this seal, you know, kind of seats it right in there. And then you push this on, and once it's pushed down, you know, it screws itself in. This kind of goes on like this. But before you do that, this side's pretty much done. But we need to use our 2 main screw seals right here. And remember, on these 2, the open side faces the top. On the top one, the open side's going to go like that on the top one. And then you're going to flip it over. And the open side's going to go like that on the lower one. Okay, so they're opposite each other like that. And once that's done, this is ready to put back on. Right, save this orange one right here. This orange one is going to be for your bleeder. That's your special bleeder one. And they put it orange just so it's, can't miss it. Okay, but let me get these 2 seals in there. I got a little bit of oil that I dab on there just to make sure the seals don't pinch or start shearing. And once this is back on, clean it up first. Clean it up as best you can. And then, all right, so on the bottom side, you've got the ball and spring that goes right in here. When you pull this out, you're gonna have this one right here, and it's gonna go down over. It's gonna go down over this thing. That's gonna seal that hole as the heater plug, right? And then this big circle one is gonna sit right there on the middle. All right. So put a little bit of oil on those 2. Put the 2 seals on, and then remember the ball. The ball goes right here. And then that's going to sit, you know, right back in there as you place this down back in position. And then you just screw it in. Now that that's back together, we're going to want to get the 2 hoses on this side. You definitely don't want to mount this and then try to get your hoses on. You need to have one side or the other installed, just due to space requirements. So remember, the big one goes in the front and the little U goes on the side. All right, so once you put this back in the truck, the sides with the white stripes are truck side, and it's going to sit kind of like this in the truck. All right, you push this down a little bit, and they'll be angled at just a hair like this. They'll sit pretty much flush to the 2 hose pipes. The 2 other feed nipples are right about like that, and that's how it'll be. Got it back in the truck. All right. So there's the 2. Definitely recommend purchasing these hoses. It's just very tight. Could be touching anything. This bolt is nearly touching the firewall, and that's the factory position, you know. So it's just tied up in there. I'm gonna put the fuel filter housing, fuel filter in while it's still kind of open. A little bit easier to get a wrench in there at the moment. But it's only 2 actual bolts that hold that on. I did have to take off the It's like this thing, a little disconnecting thing for the feed lines to squeeze the clamps for install. I suppose it would have been easier to have them out for removal as well, just using a straight clamp like that. But the good news is the hard stuff's done. I'm gonna reuse that little T20 to see that wire. It's gonna go on that open nut straight ahead right there. That's where it's gonna ground to, and then the red wire goes back over that plug, and then that's factory back to where it's supposed to be. And then we can really start hooking up all these wires again, and in theory the fuel, once I put this filter on, in theory the fuel system is contained again. So let's do that. Last clip in this video right here. Everything's hooked up, filters on. Right now the fuel system is fully together, and we gotta put this bracket on so we can clip our wiring harnesses in. And then after the wiring harnesses, just the intercooler boot or intercooler tube and air filter, and then you are back together with a running truck. Disconnecting, the hardest part about this job was disconnecting the factory rubber hoses. So, and if you have to buy them, they're expensive, but mine were cracked pretty good, so they were probably worth buying new. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions on Kodiak stuff, let me know.